It's time now to get the latest from my royal masterminds, Lady Colin Campbell and Phil Dampier. And after a bombshell ruling by a US judge, the Duchess of Sussex has lost her legal battle to avoid giving evidence in a defamation case brought by her sister, Samantha Markle. Samantha wants $75,000 in damages over what she says were false and malicious lies told by the Sussexes in that infamous Oprah Winfrey interview in March 2021, as well as the hagiography Finding Freedom by that really odd little bloke, you know who I mean, Omid Scobie. If the case makes it to court, then both Meghan and Harry will be forced to be grilled in depositions under oath. Now, it may well be very difficult for them, Lady Colin Campbell. You know a lot about this case, don't you? You have the inside running on this, so what is your verdict?
Well, I wouldn't say I have total inside running, but I do have some because I've been assisting Samantha, because various very well-placed people have been in touch with me because they're intent on making sure that justice prevails and that the truth will see the light of day. And they have had their lawyers, and I'm speaking about people at the absolute top level of society, internationally, who have been calling in legal brains from all over the world. And they have been giving me information which I have been feeding to Samantha, because the reality is that Meghan and, to a lesser extent, Harry, need to be put in a position where they will be forced to speak the truth or face the consequences. Because if they are deposed and they tell lies, they can be charged with perjury and might even end up in prison. I think it's a very remote possibility, but it is a possibility nevertheless, and they and their lawyers will be aware of it. Because the reality is that they have told so many lies, and this case is in no danger of being struck out. You know, Judge... I forget her name, Edwards something, Edwards Honeywell. She says that, you know, some of the claims might be struck out, but in reality, the substance of the claim is sufficiently sound that Harry and Meghan have to give depositions under oath, being televised, being taped. I mean, we have the prospect of Meghan going the Amber Heard route. And that's not a very pretty sight.
And Phil Dampier, I think the key point that Lady C makes there is that for a long time, in many sort of establishment circles, this case was dismissed. They love to dismiss Samantha Markle, don't they? Because she isn't on their side of politics. But actually, she's proven over numerous years, and I am happy to say this, that she is a woman of impeccable character. I believe she has always told the truth. And all of a sudden, Phil, this is looking pretty serious for Harry and Meghan now, because as Lady C says, this case may not be struck off.
Yeah, good evening, Dan. I'll tell you what, if there's two people I wouldn't want to be up against who've got together, it's Lady C and Samantha Markle. I mean, what a
so true.
What a combination. I mean, honestly, I would not like to meet them in court. But no, Harry and Meghan are great at starting the legal actions, aren't they? So it's going to be fascinating to see what they're like when they're on the receiving end. I mean, to be honest, $75,000 isn't that much, so I wouldn't be surprised if Harry and Meghan try and settle this out of court, is what I would do. But I think, you know, Lady C's right. Samantha Markle's got the bit between her teeth, and she wants to call her own father as one of the witnesses. She wants them to admit that, she wants Harry and Meghan to admit that the Queen wasn't a racist and that King Charles isn't a racist. So it could be an incredible court case. And of course, a really good lawyer could make them really kick them around in court and put them on the spot. It could be very, very nasty for them if it goes ahead.
Of course, and it is important that you do mention Thomas Markle, because before he had his really unfortunate stroke, which at the moment has robbed him of his ability to speak, he appeared on this show and said he would absolutely appear in court to back Samantha Markle in this case. So he remains a key part of the case as well. Look, I want to move on to the coronation now, because if Harry and Meghan do attend in May, they may well be denied the spotlight they so desperately crave. So this is according to Vanity Fair magazine, that says the Sussexes can expect to be treated like Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. So they will attend royal events but won't be visible or appear on the Buckingham Palace balcony. Lady C, what do you make of this report?
Well, the reality is, of course, if Harry and Meghan do end up coming, and there is some doubt that they will, but my understanding is that it is possible, indeed, maybe even likely, that at least he will come and possibly she. They need to be treated with sufficient respect, as would be warranted by their position. But the reality is, coronations used to be done by precedents. Your precedence was in your order of succession to the throne. And also, the royal dukes were not seated with the royal duchesses. They were kept separate. So it will be very interesting to see what the king comes up with, because, of course, he is changing things and modernizing things. So let's see what he comes up with.
Phil Dampier, do you think Harry and Meghan would actually accept that scenario? Because that's the only flaw to me in this whole reportage. They might not come if they know they're going to be treated like Beatrice and Eugenie.
Well, if they don't come, I think that's good and we'll all be glad. But if they do come, I think they should be treated like Beatrice and Eugenie. In fact, I think they should actually sit with them because they're actually quite friendly with them. I mean, Eugenie was out in Canada when their romance was first revealed to the world. Even been a report recently she might want to move out to California and live near them. So she's still quite friendly with them. So they could have a bit of a chat. They could get on all right. And I think they would be, it would be appropriate for them all to be together. I mean, at some point, Harry and Meghan have got to realise they're no longer working royals. They're not up in the pecking order. They're very lucky to still have their titles and be in the line of succession, to be honest. So, I think that's where they should be. Second row back, third row back with B and Eugenie. Treat them exactly the same. Minor royals.